My name is Angela, and I'm 28 years old. I work as a regular office lady. I look pretty average, and my skills are nothing special. I don't have any standout features, but I do have a strong personality. With that short introduction, the mixer event began. It was organized by some women from the department next to mine, and was a social event with men from a company that's a bit bigger than ours. It was supposed to be 3 women and 3 men, but they didn't have enough people, so they asked me to join at the last minute. I don't think I'm especially beautiful, but I'm also not so unattractive that I'd ruin the mood. I'm friendly enough to blend in at events like these. I don't have a boyfriend right now, and I wasn't expecting to meet anyone amazing at the mixer, so I decided to just enjoy the meal. The event took place at a casual yard house restaurant. Right from the start, the other 2 women were focused on 2 men who were handsome and slim, with that American pop star look. That left 2 other men, one who looked pretty plain and wore glasses, and another man who was big and well-built. The big guy sitting across from me introduced himself as Tyler. His muscles were easy to see, even through his shirt, and he had a thick beard and strong features, totally my type. I've always liked muscular, strong men more than slim, pretty boys. To be honest, my ideal guy would be someone who looks like a rugby player. He doesn't need to ride in on a white horse, he just needs to be strong enough to carry one. That's part of the reason why I'm often invited to mixers. My taste in men is pretty different from most women. You have amazing muscles. Do you play any sports? I asked him eagerly. I used to play rugby in college, but now I focus on weight training, Tyler replied. Jackpot. I was thrilled. Tyler was enjoying his meal, not talking much to the women, just focusing on the food. The way he ate was impressive. Angela, right? Do you work out too? Tyler asked, joining the conversation. Can you tell? Working out is also my hobby, I responded with a smile. I thought so. You look like you're in great shape, though maybe that's not the best way to say it, Tyler said with a cheerful smile. That smile was exactly my type, too. After that, we hit it off, talking about weight training, going to the gym, and muscles. It felt like we were in our own world, separate from the other people at the mixer, but I didn't mind. Tyler and I exchanged phone numbers and made plans to work out together in the future. At this event meant for meeting people, it seemed like Tyler and I were the only ones who connected as a pair. Tyler is 29 years old, a year older than me. He's 5 feet tall and weighs 150 pounds. I'm 5 feet 7 inches and weigh 105 pounds. Usually, big guys like him prefer small and delicate women, but Tyler didn't seem like that at all. He was really happy that we both loved bodybuilding. Not only did we go on workout dates, but we also did normal date things like watching movies and going out to eat. Naturally, conversations like, when we get married, I want gym equipment in the living room, and we'll need a big living room for that, started coming up. When I invited Tyler over to meet my parents, they really liked him. He was kind and cheerful, and it felt like marriage wasn't too far off. Next week, I'm planning to visit Tyler's home. I heard that Tyler lost his mother when he was a child and was mostly raised by his older sister, who is 6 years older than him. There might be some typical sister-in-law issues, but that could be easier to handle than a mother-in-law. I was nervous when I went to Tyler's house for the first time, but his sister Evelyn, who is stunningly beautiful, greeted us. She's in her mid-40s, being 6 years older than Tyler, and I couldn't help but stare at how gorgeous she was. She looked like a more polished version of Tyler, about my height, but slender and without much muscle. Her long black hair was really striking. Tyler's father is also well-built, with thick eyebrows, just like Tyler. Evelyn cooked us homemade seafood pasta, but there was a small problem. I'm allergic to shellfish. Evelyn, I'm sorry, but I'm allergic to crab and shrimp, I said. A small amount would give me hives, so I had to avoid the shrimp and crab on the pasta. I thought I told you about the allergy, didn't I? Evelyn said, looking a bit concerned. Tyler was supposed to know about my allergy, since we've eaten together many times. I didn't know about that, sorry, Angela, Tyler said. I smiled and replied, it's okay. Tyler, can you eat this crab and shrimp for me? Tyler happily said, of course, and took the crab and shrimp from my plate. I noticed that Evelyn's gaze became a bit serious, but I didn't think too much of it. I'll be more careful next time, I said, trying to smooth things over. But then Evelyn added, Angela, if you marry Tyler, He won't be able to eat crab or shrimp anymore. I hadn't really thought about that before, but I figured I could avoid cooking with ingredients that would trigger my allergy. I started feeling a bit guilty when Evelyn said, "It's really a shame because he loves them so much." Was she blaming me? I felt confused. Tyler quickly jumped in and said, "Don't worry, I can always eat crab and shrimp when I go out, or I can come here for them." During the rest of the visit, Evelyn kept mentioning how much Tyler loved crab and shrimp as a kid and that she would keep making them for him as long as she's cooking. Her comments made me feel a bit unwelcome. Later, when she saw Tyler off at the door, Evelyn said, "Even after you're married, you're always welcome to visit." It felt like she was hinting that I was somehow taking Tyler away from her. On the way home, I told Tyler, "It seems like your sister doesn't think very highly of me. I didn't know you liked crab and shrimp so much." I was feeling a bit down, but Tyler reassured me. "Yeah, I like them, but don't worry about my sister. She just cares a little too much about what I eat because it's really important to her." Tyler explained that Evelyn had taken on a motherly role after their mom passed away, which might be why she's so involved in his life. He thought she might have a bit of a sister complex because she's been both his sister and his caretaker for so long. Evelyn has a very handsome boyfriend named Adam. He's actually more attractive than some celebrities, and women often swoon over him. Personally, I don't find him all that charming. Adam is 31 years old and owns a nightclub. When Evelyn was working, a coworker took her to the club where Adam was the top bartender. His job involved charming women to earn tips, but he fell for Evelyn and eventually decided to start his own business. Adam really loves Evelyn, and even Tyler's father, who was originally against the idea of her dating a bartender, has accepted him now that he owns his own nightclub. "I even work out with him sometimes," Tyler said. "He wants to build some muscle, but nothing too extreme." Tyler explained that he and I sometimes go out to eat with Evelyn and Adam. Once, while I was about to add lemon and sauce to Tyler's fried shrimp, Evelyn suddenly raised her voice and said, "Wait, Tyler likes ketchup on his fried food." Tyler calmly replied, "Don't worry, Angela suggested I try the lemon and sauce, and it was really good. Ketchup is great, and tartar sauce works too, but lately I've been enjoying lemon and sauce." Even though Tyler seemed fine with the change, Evelyn's face showed she wasn't happy about it. This didn't just happen with food, though. Whenever Tyler showed interest in things that I introduced him to, like foreign dramas, or when he started changing his style of clothing, Evelyn seemed upset. It was as if she didn't like seeing him change. There were also strange things that happened when we ate at Tyler's house. I would often get hives, even though no crab or shrimp were directly served. I started to wonder if the condiments or ingredients they used might have contained traces of shellfish, which I wouldn't notice. So, I tried to help with the cooking at Tyler's house to see what was really going on, but Evelyn wouldn't let me. She said, "Why don't you help with the dishes instead?" So I ended up doing dishes without being able to check the ingredients. One day, I mentioned, "I got hives again after we ate here last time." Evelyn responded, "That's strange. We didn't use any crab or shrimp. Could it be that you have other allergies, Angela's?" It felt like she was blaming me for the problem. She even added, "If you have so many allergies, it's going to be hard for you to cook for Tyler." I'm worried about him. She seemed more concerned about Tyler than about me. For the record, I don't have any other allergies. I've had thorough allergy tests done before, but even after I told Evelyn this, she didn't seem convinced. I started to realize that this wasn't just about her not liking me. It felt like she didn't want to let Tyler move on from her. However, Evelyn is already 34 and has a serious boyfriend, Adam. It doesn't make sense for her to stay so attached to her brother, especially since she's clearly in love with Adam. I've been thinking that maybe Adam could help resolve the situation. After all, shouldn't Evelyn and Adam be thinking about getting married themselves? It's time for them to move forward too. I asked Tyler about it, and he said, "I've talked to her many times, but she says she can't think about marriage until I'm settled and married." It seemed like Evelyn might be delaying her own marriage because of Tyler. Then something unexpected happened. One day, Evelyn and Adam invited us over for a meal. Right after Tyler excused himself to go to the bathroom, Evelyn stood up too, saying she needed to step out. A little later, Tyler came back, supporting Evelyn, who was holding a handkerchief to her mouth and looked like she was in pain. Adam immediately stood up and asked, "Are you okay? I'll take you home." But Evelyn refused and said, "It's fine. We've already ordered the food, so enjoy yourselves. I'm going home with Tyler." So they left together, leaving Adam and me alone. It felt a little awkward, but since it was a fancy Italian meal, we tried to enjoy it. Then, out of nowhere, Adam looked at me and said, "Angela, you're unique, very creative, and lovely." As a former bartender, he knew how to charm women, but what shocked me was what happened next. Adam gently took my hand and whispered, "Hey, how about we have some fun together?" I was stunned. What was he thinking, making a move on me right after Evelyn, his girlfriend, had just left feeling sick? He's supposed to be in love with Evelyn. Handsome as he is, his behavior was completely out of line. I pulled my hand away and said, "Please stop joking. Evelyn would be upset if she heard this." But Adam's response surprised me. With a sly smile, he said, "She won't be upset." I couldn't believe it. I quickly made it clear, I'm not interested in good-looking guys, and firmly rejected him. Adam just laughed and said, "You're interesting, Angela," without showing any offense. Refusing his offer to drive me home, I hurried to the station and texted Tyler. I felt a strong need to see him and explain what had just happened. When Tyler arrived, he asked, "Why did you call me here? What happened?" I led him to a quiet spot and apologized before asking, "By the way, how's your sisters?" I wasn't really worried about her, but I wanted to ease into the conversation. Tyler replied, "She was fine as soon as we got home. She was just making a fuss. It's too bad we couldn't enjoy the Italian meal." Then I dropped the bombshell. "After you left, Adam made a pass at me." Tyler's usual calm expression turned serious.
"What? Why?"
"He's supposed to be with my sister," he said, clearly shocked and confused. "That's what I said." I told him Evelyn would be upset, but Adam said she wouldn't be. "What does that even mean?" I asked. "That's really bad." Tyler murmured, deep in thought. The story he shared next was surprising. He explained that whenever he introduced a girlfriend to his sister, the relationship would end soon after. The reason for the breakups was always the same. The women would say they had found someone else. Once, I saw an ex-girlfriend getting cozy with a man who looked like Adam. It was from a distance and he was wearing sunglasses, so I thought I was mistaken, Tyler said. Hearing this, I was shocked. It seemed like Evelyn might have been using Adam to break up Tyler's relationships. This was too serious to brush off, so I decided to be direct with Tyler. I told him how I often got hives after eating meals cooked by Evelyn and reminded him that I only have an allergy to shellfish, nothing else. I understand that she wants to keep you close, but we can't be happy in this situation, and it's not good for her either, I said. Tyler sighed and replied, "Yeah, you're right. I'm really sorry, Angela. I never thought my sister would go this far." He was clearly shaken, but I had to be honest with him about how I felt. "If you choose your sister over us, Tyler, I can't stay in this relationship." Tyler responded without hesitation, "I choose you, Angela. We'll face my sister's issues together. Once we move out, she won't be able to interfere." He added, with a bit of relief, "I'm really glad you're not into handsome men. It wasn't my fault I got dumped before." We both laughed a little, and it felt like our bond grew stronger. From that point on, we were moving toward marriage. I decided not to visit Tyler's house anymore, and keeping some distance from his sister meant she couldn't interfere. Our wedding preparations were going well, but I couldn't help feeling anxious. A quick search online revealed so many horror stories about things going wrong at weddings and receptions. I wanted to be prepared for any surprises. During a meeting with our wedding planner, I asked how often things go wrong at weddings. Sensing my nerves, the planner kindly asked if I had any specific concerns, which allowed me to open up and talk things through. Hoping for the best, I prepared myself for the big day. On our wedding day, I went into the dressing room feeling excited, but what I saw left me in shock. Evelyn was there, furiously tearing apart my wedding dress with a large cutter knife. Around her feet, there were trampled accessories scattered everywhere. I had expected she might try to sabotage the wedding, but I thought it would be something like spilling water or coffee on the dress, not this. I never thought she would actually cut the dress with a knife. "It's all ruined now, what a shame," Evelyn said, a smile on her face. But I stayed calm and said, "It's all rentals anyway. Most people don't buy expensive custom-made dresses for weddings." Her smile faded a little.
What?
"But you can't have a wedding without a dress," she exclaimed. "That's why I have a spare dress prepared," I replied calmly. "I liked the one you ruined more, but I'll just wear the other one." Just then, there was a knock on the door, and Tyler walked in. He froze when he saw the scene. "Evelyn, why would you do this?" he asked, clearly shocked. The wedding planner, who was with me, said, "All these dresses and accessories belong to the venue. Should I report the damage to the police?" Tyler quickly replied, "We'll cover the costs. I don't want a criminal in the family on our wedding day." When Evelyn heard the words criminal, she finally seemed to understand the seriousness of what she had done. She started yelling, "Criminal? What are you talking about? I'm just against this marriage." "Too bad," I said, "but we're already legally married. We're officially a couple, so canceling today's ceremony won't change anything." Evelyn looked shocked, then collapsed to the floor, murmuring, "No, that can't be true. It's a lie." Tyler knelt down beside her and gently said, "Please stop, Evelyn. I don't want to hate you." At his words, she broke down, crying like a child, calling out for him. Tyler's. Asked Tyler to take her out of the dressing room so I could fix my makeup and change into the spare dress. By then, both our families had arrived at the venue, and even Adam had shown up. "I can't believe she actually did it," Adam said, which made me wonder why he didn't stop her if he knew what was coming. But maybe he didn't want to intervene, since he had been an accomplice in other situations. I left Evelyn in Adam's care, still unable to stop her tears. Tyler and I explained everything to our parents. Although there was some panic at first, our calmness helped ease the situation. We decided to focus on getting through the wedding and reception as smoothly as possible. During the wedding, Evelyn kept crying, and at the reception, she constantly wiped her eyes with a handkerchief. People who didn't know the full story thought she was just sad about her brother getting married, and they looked at her sympathetically. Despite the drama, we made it through the wedding and reception. That night, we stayed in a hotel downtown before flying to Hawaii for a honeymoon. We had a week-long culinary tour ahead of us, and Tyler's comforting words kept playing in my mind, reassuring me everything would be fine. "I don't want to dislike you any more than I already do," Tyler had said to Evelyn. It seemed like those words were the greatest punishment for her. 5 months later, Adam visited our new home, bringing a huge bouquet of flowers as a gift showing his usual charm with women. Since the wedding, Tyler hadn't returned to his parents' home, so he hadn't seen his sister. Sometimes she would try to contact him, but Tyler kept his distance, refusing her calls. However, I could tell he was still worried about her. When he asked Adam how she was doing, the reply was unexpected. "Actually, I've been thinking about breaking up," Adam said, catching Tyler by surprise. "What?" Tyler exclaimed. Adam explained, "After that incident, she's just not the same anymore. I used to love her because of how hard she tried for you." His words were vague, but I got the feeling Adam was tired of the whole situation. Still, I thought it might be better for Adam to stay with her without him. Who knows what she might do next? Maybe she should get married and have kids. If she has a son who looks like Tyler, she might regain her old self, I suggested, trying to protect our peaceful life, especially now that I was pregnant. I couldn't help but feel anxious about what Evelyn might do if we had a boy who resembled Tyler. To my surprise, Adam was thrilled by the idea. "I hadn't thought about marriage before, but I'll consider it." "Thanks," he said enthusiastically. And just a month later, Adam and Evelyn registered as a married couple. His quick decision-making as a former bartender was astonishing. Not long after, I gave birth to a baby boy who looked just like me, which came as a relief. I knew Evelyn wouldn't be interested in him. Though I hadn't been very into the idea of having kids before, I quickly grew attached to our son and appreciated how special he was. I could now understand, in part, Evelyn's strong attachment to Tyler. One day, Tyler told me, "Angela, don't turn out like my sister." His expression was sad and complicated. Meanwhile, Adam and Evelyn went on to have a child as well, just as we had expected. Evelyn smoothly became pregnant and gave birth. But instead of a boy who looked like Tyler, they had a beautiful little girl, as precious as a gem. To our surprise, it wasn't Evelyn who became obsessed with their daughter, it was Adam. He was completely captivated by her and would send us adorable pictures of her growing up, even when we hadn't asked for them. She just celebrated her first birthday, becoming even more angelic and charming. Meanwhile, our little 3-year-old troublemaker is quite the handful, but his mischievousness only adds to his cuteness. Adam jokes that he'll do whatever it takes to scare off any future boyfriends his daughter might have. It seems both Adam and Evelyn are pretty protective in that way. They apparently argue about their daughter a lot, but honestly, it's not my concern. What I do find a bit curious is that they only send us photos of their daughter, never any of the whole family. But that's their business, not mine. Besides, I have enough on my plate since I'm due to give birth again in 3 months, and this time, it's twins. The little ones are already as active as little monsters, demanding a lot of attention. I simply don't have the energy to worry about other people's problems. The training machine we set up in our big living room is now mostly used by Tyler. I had planned to use it to get back in shape after giving birth, but it quickly turned into a place to hang laundry. With all these kids to chase after, I've realized how important it is to stay strong and have stamina. If we have more children, maybe we'll move the machine and actually start going to the gym. But even without the machine, Tyler jokes that we'll never run out of weights. He says this while doing squats with our son on his back, and watching him, I'm reminded of how much I love him. Because of that, I'm confident I won't become like his sister. I just hope that when our kids grow up, they'll find great partners and experience the kind of wonderful life I'm lucky to have now.